So, first up, we are going to install the Williams, I think they're called the Fire Sights. These are for the Mark II, Mark III, 2245, any of those series. Things you should probably have when doing an install like this. Get yourself a good screwdriver. As I say this, I'm probably going to use this piece of crap. If you can, buy yourself something like this. Chapman Gun Screwdriver Kit. These are really good to have. I've actually used that kit to loosen these screws, so they're not as tight, but it is important to have a nice screwdriver kit if you're going to be gunsmithing at all. Pick yourself up. If you don't have a vise is very important for this part. Get yourself a good vise, pad it. Besides that, you will need a really small punch for the back sight to drift the pin out. I'll show you what size this one is. There you go, so 50 thousandths. This is something that I sort of made myself, but it works great. So I'll show you guys how to do this. Really straightforward. Front sight comes off. It's just screwed in. It is Loctited, so it's pretty snug. Like I said, I already loosened this off camera, so you guys didn't have to watch me struggle. If you plan on shooting this thing a lot, running it really, really hard, I'd say go ahead and re-Loctite it when you go to put it back together, when you put the new sight on. Me, I'm gonna test my luck. I'm not gonna Loctite it. I'm gonna see how it turns out. So if it ever shoots loose, then I will Loctite it at that point. Because that's how I roll. All right, screw this one in. Front sight's real easy. It does fit the contour of the barrel. Just kind of screw it in, make sure it's riding that barrel contour nicely, and then snug it down. This is why a vise is really handy. Having a good strong vise to hold it makes it really nice. Your old sight, go ahead and throw it in your parts bin. You're not going to need it. All right, for your rear sight, we're going to take this screw out, and I don't know if the screwdriver actually fits this screw. It doesn't. Ooh. We may have to jump cut real quick, and I'll get the proper screwdriver. Be right back. All right, I'm back. So I have a little Walmart screwdriver kit that I'm going to use for this back one. It is a pretty thin. It requires a pretty thin blade. The reason why I'm not using the good kit is because the two blades that actually fit this are broken. I broke them off, and something else I was working on. Yes, it was gun related. But they're not going to fit, they're broken, so I need to order some new bits for that. Maybe I'll do that tonight. Anyway, go ahead, find a screwdriver that fits this screw and remove it. It is snug into the rear sight blade itself. So the cool thing with this Williams Fire Sight is you're not actually replacing the whole rear sight assembly. All you're doing is replacing this middle section. So it's really nice. You don't have to drift this whole thing out. So once your screw's out and this is loose, be careful. There is a spring underneath. You can see it gives it a little bit of tension. So as you drive this pin out and take this part off, make sure you don't lose that screw or this pin. So we're gonna drift this pin out, just like that. This comes off. You can see your spring is right there. And simply all you gotta do, drop this back on. It'll kind of fit into place where that spring belongs. You'll feel where that spring kind of falls in. Drop your screw back in. Tighten it down. And before you tighten it all the way, make sure you drift your pin back in so it's in there correctly. Here we go. Drift it in. So it's pretty snug over here. Perfect. If you've never worked with guns before, a nice non-marring hammer, like a brass hammer, is really, really good to have. It'll keep you from scratching your stuff up. Then all you're going to do, tighten it down, and you're going to have to go to the range, obviously, and sight it in at whatever distance you shoot at. This will probably be sighted in at like 15 yards. But that's it. That's the whole install for the Fire Sights. Again, take your backup, you take your old sight, throw it in your parts bin. You never know when you might need it. It's always good to keep on hand. So that's it. That's your whole install for front and rear sight. Hopefully, as you guys can see, maybe not. They're nice. They're not tritium. They are fiber optics, but during the daylight, they grab a lot of light and they look really good. So there you go. First part done. And from here, we're going to move on to some of the others.